Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is another comic book review and I hope you enjoy. Welcome to another hashtag Spiderman Sundays. And today we are looking at the very first appearance of the Vulture in Amazing Spider-Man issue 2. There are a lot of things with the Vulture that make him a standout in Spider-Man's rogues gallery. For one, he can fly. Back then, not many villains could do that. It's interesting that Spider-Man is fighting a guy who can fly when he himself can't. And it's even more interesting when we see that the Vulture can only fly because of a mechanical harness. Other supervillains like Doghawk and Lizard had costume changes, but Vulture is one of the few who didn't for a very long time. Vulture is not one of my top 5 Spider-Man rogues, but he is a very good character even in his first appearance. The comic starts out with the Vulture flying down and robbing some guy. No one can comprehend that there is a man that can fly. So then the publisher of Now magazine, J. John Jameson, yes, that guy again, wants pictures of the Vulture. Peter Parker figures he can get the pictures of Vulture and he can get paid for it also. Money to help Aunt May pay the bills. That night, the Vulture sees that they're moving $1 million worth of diamonds and aren't scared if he attacks. The Vulture accepts the challenge. So he flies over and warns them about his plan to steal the diamonds, which takes only seconds. He can fly and with that, fly super fast. Spider-Man there and accidentally alerts the Vulture while trying to take a picture. The Vulture flies around and knocks him out. He can also fly super silently. And he dumps Spider-Man in a water tower trying to drown him, then leaves, figuring that the Spider-Man is gone for good. Spider-Man is then trying to climb and web out, but can't. Then he uses all of his strength to jump straight out. This is the first moment we see Spider-Man struggle at doing something with his superpowers. The first time something is challenging to him, and I love it. He builds up confidence, and it shows how much he pushes himself. Then he goes home and creates his spider belt for the first time. It appears in issue 2, and he first creates web cartridges here too. He then creates a weapon to stop the Vulture's flying harness from working. This is the most we've seen so far of Peter Parker being a scientist, and it's done to perfection. The next day he goes to the Now magazine and gets paid by Jameson for his pictures of the Vulture. Jameson also tells him to give him photos of that menace Spider-Man if he can. And we as the audience think what Peter thinks, if only he knew. Also, they don't mention a Daily Bugle in this issue at all. It's kind of weird thinking about it now. Later, they're moving the diamonds and Peter comes with his classmates to witness it, but leaves seeing if the Vulture does attack, they'll need Spider-Man. And the Vulture does attack and easily escapes, or so he thinks. When the Vulture sees Spider-Man, he tries the same trick to attack Spider-Man. Spidey dodges the Vulture thanks to his spider sense. But Spider-Man stays on the Vulture to use the gadget that messes with the Vulture's wings, causing him to crash on the ground. It's a great ending battle between the two meeting for the first time. The Vulture was great and better than the Chameleon from the last issue. He was very daring and seemed cold and calculating. He had a bit of a comical aspect with him being an old man flying around in the air also, which I loved. There's a lot of first-time parts here, like Peter working for Jameson, being the best class student, and fighting a flying character even though he can't fly himself. Now for this second part, where Spider-Man meets another rogue for the first time, the Tinkerer. The Tinkerer isn't as well known as Vulture, but they both first made their movie appearance together in Spider-Man Homecoming. He isn't as much as a threat, but he reminds me of the Superman foe, Toyman. It's a pretty short story, and I really enjoy it. Peter Parker, being the best student, goes to the opportunity to work with Dr. Cobwell, an electricity expert. He gets teased because of it, but it doesn't matter to him. Peter's first job is to pick up a radio that's being fixed by the Tinkerer in his workshop, and Peter is surprised by his weird appearance, and the place throws off his spider sense. Peter decides to pay the shop a visit after work, after seeing that the Tinkerer messed with the radio. When he gets there, he encounters supposedly a bunch of aliens planning a takeover with the Tinkerer in charge. Spider-Man fights them, but eventually gets captured. This is the first time we see Spider-Man so confident fighting crime that he hops around and jokes and has fun. He escapes and breaks their stuff. then leaves from the fire that he caused in the building. People blame the fire on him. That's just great, the old Parker luck. Later, Dr. Caldwell confronts Peter, telling him that he saw a spaceship, then gives it up, thinking Peter will never believe him. Peter almost doesn't believe it also, but he still has the Tinkerer's mask, and that's the end of the issue. We learn later in Spider-Man mythos that the aliens were people in costumes. In fact, Mysterio was one of them. There was a lot of cool parts here, and it made up for the Tinkerer being underwhelming. And in this issue, it's the first time we see Pete talking back and standing up to Flash Thompson. If I had something to say, is that the artwork is way better in this issue than ever, and once again, Spider-Man is facing an animal-themed villain. I give this issue a 10 out of 10, it was perfect to me. Please comment your thoughts down below, and please consider subscribing. Well, I hope you all enjoyed a new hashtag spidermansunday. By the way, if you made it this far, I have a channel where I'm doing video game walkthroughs. If you're interested, I'm playing Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. The link will be in the description. I would appreciate it if you checked it out. Well, with all that said, bye guys, and have a good day.